Hey folks, how you doing? It is Monday just after lunch here in CT, and I wanted to go over just one or two lawn mowing tips for you. So usually I don't mow my lawn midday, but we have some showers coming through. I was kind of thinking it was going to be more, but we got some showers, so I went ahead and mowed my lawn for the first time in about 2.5 weeks. We're in the middle of a heat wave here, and I'm not sure if it's a drought or not, but things are definitely very dry. The neat thing about living with sugar maples is if it's a light rain, it only rains outside the drip line of the sugar maples. I've been mowing my lawn at the highest possible setting. I haven't even been lowering the blades. And then I have a 62-inch, what's known as a Z-Master. It's got 3 mowing blades, and I put mulching blades on. And I always incorporate the grass clippings or whatever leaves are on the lawn into the lawn. For a lot of people in the trade, it's a common practice to go back and blow off the driveways and the sidewalks after you mow the lawn. And what I've gotten in the habit of doing is also blowing out my gardens. But since we're in the middle of this drought, my maple trees have been losing leaves. I mean, basically all trees are losing some leaves. So what I've started doing is actually going around my whole yard with my backpack blower and blowing all the leaves, in the beds, out of the beds. Over by the property line here, my neighbor has some white pines that were planted at least 2, possibly 3 generations ago. So there's usually like a litter of white pine needles around here. So before I mowed today, I just went ahead and blew them all out in the lawn. Now, luckily there was only like 1 inch. I mean, if it was pretty heavy, honestly, you could just leave them there as a mulch. Now there's this sugar maple by the road that's been slowly dying for years. So it's already lost like half of its foliage. And there's usually it looks like fall around this tree. So I went ahead and got my blower. I blew everything out. And then I actually, just like I do in the fall, I did a bunch of circles around the leaves and shredded them. I will put a video down in the description that'll explain, how I go about mulching leaves in the fall. I've also got this mountain laurel over here, and mountain laurels are famous for fungal leaf spot diseases. So on a regular basis, I'll come through and just blow those leaves right out from underneath them and blow them on the lawn and shred them up. In this part of the garden, I've actually got a crab apple, not my favorite tree, but absolutely gorgeous in bloom. And you can see, maybe you can't, but this actually already does have some leaf spot diseases on it. So it's been steadily losing leaves all year. So every time I go out before I mow, I'll just blow all these leaves on the lawn. And then I've got this narrow tongue of grass here, which is only about 4 passes of the mower. So I'll just go up and down, in circles and mulch as much as I can. And then at some point, I always end up blowing a few back into the bed, but it's nothing like it was before. And then underneath these 2 giant sugar maples in my backyard, there's usually a lot of leaves that'll just fall. With a tree this big, they're going to lose some leaves anyways, plus the drought. But I'll just blow the leaves with the mower. I'll just do 1 strip pushing the leaves that way, and then return on the same strip, so I'm not pushing any leaves back this way. So basically just 1 pass with the chute that way, and then return on the same strip, and you'll mulch them and push them, into that little bed over there. And then on the back of these trees, and then this little area over here, I'll do the same thing where I'll only cut fresh leaves and push them that way, away from the maples, and then return on the same trip. And I mean, I didn't use a blower to blow off the backyard here. This is just how it looks now. One thing you have to accept is if you're going to go through your beds that are full of perennials and blow, you may break some of the perennials or some of the plants. So you have to either really, slow your blower down, just not do some of the beds with the more delicate plants, or just accept you're going to, break a few things. So I did break this catmint over here, and I did catch this 1 pot of Impatiens pretty good as well. And half of this could just be that they're very spindly, lanky Impatiens. So, you know, I will just cut this back and it'll regrow, it'll resprout. You can see how dense the foliage is in there. Why not leave some of your lawn tall where there's the most clover and, you know, leave some flowers for the pollinators. If you're in the trade, maybe going around and blowing everybody's beds out before you mow might not be the most profitable thing. If your job is to make the house look as nice as possible, absolutely. But if you're getting paid to what we call mow, blow, and go, might not be. But you know, if you're taking care of your own landscape, or you take care of some gardens that are open to the public, or an estate or something, it's definitely something to consider to make the yard just look at its absolute best. I don't use any chemicals on my property. I'm not even lowering the mowing blades. I'm mulching all the leaves, I'm mulching all the clippings, and everything looks good, you know, in mid to late July with a drought and a heat wave on. So it's something to consider. The only other thing I want to say is make sure you're using a respirator, a good respirator. You got some glasses on when you're blowing, and if your customer or you know, have a pretty fancy car, I wouldn't do this as well, because you are going to just kick dust up all over the place, especially if there's a drought. All right, folks, well, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Take care.